Welcome back, everybody, to the Brazilian Dragon podcast for Brazilian Dragontober. And we are back with Jenn, returning immediately to talk about Scary Godmother Spooktakular Halloween special, which I had never seen. But Jenn, welcome back to the podcast.
Thank you.
And tell me about your introduction to Scary Godmother and what the hell you made me watch for this episode.
Oh my God. It was well, first of all, thank you for having me back. It's so exciting to again nerd out with you about this, especially something that I introduced to you. Yeah, no, Scary Godmother's Spectacular, that was something that came out, I want to say when I was a kid. It was like 2007 when I came out, and God, how old was I in 2007? I know, I think I was um like 11 maybe or something like that, and it was on Cartoon Network or Nickelodeon, and it's based off of a children's book series. I think there's like 6 books, but they've only done the first 2, and it's just such a fun time. Like, we'll get into it and everything like that, but like, I know that another coworker of ours, a friend, Zach, he's mentioned it to you too as well. So like, I'm just glad that you really took the dive in to watch it, because it's unhinged, to say the
It's
least, but
so
it's so
unhinged. I
fun.
literally texted you 20 seconds into the movie just because of the animation style. I was like, what the
Yeah,
hell is this? Um, Yeah, this was my first foray. I feel like maybe I recognized Jimmy from like commercials or something, but I had
yeah,
never seen this before. And oh my god, my life has changed. I'm like, what the actual hell is this? So this, like, do you want to describe the animation style?
yeah. So for those who like, the best way to kind of like describe it, I mean, it's early 2000s animation CGI, so definitely a lot of like harsher shapes and not a whole lot of shading, but it's very like plastic kind of, in a way where, like, if anybody watched the Jimmy Neutron TV series on Nickelodeon, it's like the that kind of style, but maybe just like 30% less. And
And with like
um
2D animation painting backdrops.
yeah, yeah, and those were kind of art that was kind of inspired by the book series that were like little excerpts in it, because like it, again, we'll kind of go into it, but they have like little like snack hacks or just funny Halloween hacks as well too, that they kind of break it up a little bit, but it's basically that. And the designs of the characters are kind of funny too, especially in the case of their eyeballs, or their lack of eyeballs. They have
Yeah,
like little
it's
pupil eyes.
so janky, like actual clownery.
Except for
Um,
Hannah. Hannah has actual like whites in her eyes and everything.
yeah,
So that's because she's the main character. So distinguish the difference.
Yeah, so basically, we start the movie off, and it's the trick or treaters. We got Hannah, Jimmy, Daryl, Katie, and Bert. Bert was my favorite. I'm a
Yeah,
baseball player driving an SUV. That's so specific.
with the laser
Uh,
cannon.
with the laser cannon. But they're trick or treating, and is are Daryl and Katie adults? It
No,
was
they're
so
all kids.
unclear.
They're all like, I think Daryl, Katie, Bert, and Jimmy, they're all classmates, and they bring along Jimmy's cousin, who's Hannah,
Hannah
and she's
Marie. Yeah,
Hannah Marie, and she's the main focus. They kind of Jimmy gets roped into taking her trick or treating with them, so that's why they're waiting for him, and he's late. So taking the little sibling who's kind of scared of trick or treating, you got to be responsible and then like deal with all that. So
yeah.
typical kid stuff.
And it often felt like but it did feel like sometimes like Daryl and Katie were like so supposed to be seen as more mature than the others at times, like,
Oh
or
yeah,
they like pretended
absolutely.
to be mom and dad at times. Um,
Yeah, that was so funny when they had the scene of them like kind of reenacting how Jimmy got roped into babysitting Hannah for trick or treating, because
mhm.
that was just, again, weird, like side moments, like tangents that they kind of go off. They go on a couple of tangents in this series as the plot goes along. It's kind of funny, but yeah, they kind of do have mom and dad of the group vibes.
Yeah,
Um, yeah,
it's definitely interesting. Well, they have costumes. So Hannah Marie is dressed as a fairy princess. Jimmy's wearing a devil costume. Katie is a black cat. Daryl is a piece of candy, and Bert is a baseball player driving a powerful SUV that can shoot lasers. Like,
yeah,
I love it. He's my favorite, and it's not close. Um, And then Jimmy's like annoyed that Hannah has to go with the so he's like, okay, I'm gonna trap you into this house. And
Rude.
where it's an abandoned house at a graveyard. They call it the spook house. And he tells them that they didn't feed the candy to the monsters and they got eaten. And candy has to be in the basement every year to prevent the monsters from killing the other children in the world. So he tells Hannah to go in the house, leave some candy. She goes and they lock her inside, which how old is this girl? Like 6?
Yeah, like basically like 6 years old, 6 or 7, and like definitely like maybe like first or second grade. And I want to say like Jimmy and the gang are like maybe like seventh, eighth, maybe like sixth or seventh grade or something. That's kind of the vibes I'm picking up here. But yeah, she's a little kid, like little kid, scared. That was rude. Uh,
Yeah. It's just messed up, like how people can be mean to people. It's just
oh
messed up.
yeah, that's so. And then like and
Yeah,
then the
Jimmy.
scariest house on the block too. Like that's like, did you have a scary house on the block growing up?
I definitely vaguely remember one when I was a kid, but I couldn't tell you much about it other than like it creeped me out. Did you
Yeah.
have one?
One that no one lived in, yeah, it was
Yeah.
kinda like that, like, it was like, nothing was really wrong with it, things were overgrown, but, like, and, like, some of the brick was falling apart, like, going back on it now, it was just probably just an unkept house that would couldn't sell, but as a kid, it's like, literally no one lives in that house, it looks terrifying, and, like, at night, there's, like, animals that roam around, so, of course, it's a scary witch house, you know?
Mhm. Yeah, no, for real. Um, and so what did you remember about Scary Godmother as a kid, like in terms of the witch herself?
Oh, in this character, oh my gosh, she's, like Scary Godmother is like basically the Santa Claus for Halloween in a way, where she kind of helps bring Halloween around. She has the spirit of Halloween. In the second movie, if you ever like next year do like the Jimmy's Revenge and stuff, happy to do that with you. But they kind of go
Yes.
into a detail of what Godmother's real powers are. Um, and like she's just the fairy godmother that's with a cute witchy hat, and she's just so fun, and played by Tabitha St. Germain as the voice actress. So I don't know, like she's in a lot of things. I watched the My Little Pony series. She was Rarity in that one and
Mhm.
was fantastic in that. So it was just funny finding out that she's Scary Godmother, because just she has like this very whimsical kind of uh way that she speaks that's just absolutely perfect scary godmother, because she's not scary, she's just
Yeah,
those
Jen left.
Halloween pixie fairy.
Yes, yes. She's definitely like Miss Frizzle if she was a witch.
Yes, that's a better way to say it. Miss Frizzle is a witch, yes.
That's the vibe that I got from her. And she takes Hannah on an adventure with her ghost cat, and they go on a broomstick ride to the Frightside. Is that where like that's where the monsters live?
Yeah, basically like Halloween Town,
Okay,
essentially.
yeah.
Yeah.
And this was a little trippy also when they are flying through the air.
Right, going through all the to get to the house, and the house is awesome too, like that's a house I want to party in.
Yes. So we meet the other friends who are Mr. Scully Pettibone, the skeleton, Harry the werewolf, a fuzzy monster that loves scaring children named Bugaboo, and a vampire family of Count Max, Countess Ruby, and son Orson. And they're at their Halloween party that they have every year as the most spooky Phantom Fest in the whole realm, as it's described by Pettibone, who is a screaming homosexual. Right?
Yep. Yep.
Yeah.
Yes,
He is a
yeah,
friend of
absolutely, like
Dorothy.
he's your gay uncle, you know,
Yeah,
like
he is a friend of Dorothy, and like
absolutely.
I also like in this subplot we have Harry who is the werewolf, and I feel like they're so mean to Harry. They won't let him order more than one pizza for himself. Like, let the
He's
boy
so
eat.
dramatic too, like, he's
Yeah,
like Broadway actor, like, status.
yeah, they're all like very kooky. Like the vampires are like kind of like on their own. They're like they have a garlic allergy,
Yeah,
and
I love
so that's it.
I love the Dracula family, like, they're so Orson's the cutest too, like, Because like I think that like was it in the book series, like there's Hannah has like a crush on Orson. It kind of translates a little bit on here, but it's just
Yeah.
it's so cute that there's like a little vampire kid, and like they're when they first meet, they're like asking each other all these questions, and then Ruby, the mom, is like, "Oh, it's his first human," and it's like, oh, it's just so cute that they're like discovering each other. They're like, "You're a kid human, you're a kid vampire." So
Yeah, he definitely has a unique voice. It felt
yeah.
like he. I don't know if this guy's ever done more stuff, Adam Pop Pisil, but his voice felt recognizable. Like maybe he's been done stuff like other voice acting roles as like a kids movie, but I'm trying to look it up, and it doesn't seem like he has a ton of credits.
Yeah. No, I would say I feel like I feel familiar too. Some of these actors though, they kind of fall in the same circle of different like kids animation cartoons and stuff.
Yeah,
Some of them like share series together. So,
yeah,
um, but yeah. And was
definitely.
it Skelly Bones is uh Wacko Warner is
Oh,
one. Yeah.
interesting.
Yeah.
Yeah, I know a lot of these like probably run in like the Canadian voice acting scenes.
Yeah.
Um, but we then go to the other side of the spook house where Jimmy, Katie, and Bert and Daryl are all still there. They are waiting for Hannah to get out, and the trick or treating time has passed, and they're still at the spook house. And they start getting worried about Jimmy's legend being true and Hannah's life actually being in danger. So they're like, we have to go get Hannah. But then Jimmy's like, no, there's no monsters. And he decides to call himself the leader by winning rock, paper, scissors and temporarily rules that they all wait for Hannah longer. And this is so interesting because they're like, I'm the leader. I'm the leader. And they like can't decide who to be the leader because they all vote the same every round. This was some of the unhinged part.
Oh yeah, because like I feel like that because yeah, because I feel like there's been a couple times in my life where like we've all like as a, like friend groups and stuff like in recess or something where like no, I want to be the
Yeah.
one who does this stuff. It's just it's so kid like that they do that, and then like the way that Jimmy's like when they do rock paper scissors and everybody chooses rock. He's like, all right, everybody, we can't all choose rock, and then they all choose scissors, and he chooses rock still, just tricking
Yeah.
all of them. It's like, dude, yeah, he would.
He's such a little weenie.
Yeah, he
Uh,
is. He's so mean.
He's so mean. Meanwhile, Hannah starts to enjoy the party where they dance. There's the ghosts. They have Orson and Hannah getting to know each other, and
Mhm.
Harry orders a ton of pizza and eats all the food, and he talks a lot. And the other monsters don't really like Harry, it seems, which is upsetting.
He just has a penchant for just going a little too far, and it kind of unravels for everybody else. And it's not his fault too, because like there's I get this way too. I'm sure like there are people who are listening who feel sometimes they just push the envelope a little bit too much and things happen. But yeah, I like Harry though. I think he's funny.
Harry, I mean, I like all of them. Do they all
Yeah, no,
reappear in
they're
the
all fun.
sequel? Are they all back for the sequel or no?
Yes, they are. Yeah,
Okay, good.
they are.
I also love Bugaboo. Bugaboo is
Yeah.
an icon. And he's like, yeah, he like tries to play things off as jokes, like, oh yeah, I love eating kids, and then he's like, no, I don't love eating kids. Obviously not.
They
And
make the
that's just
bread soggy.
word. Yeah, yeah. Um, um. So, did you have a favorite as a kid, and now do you have a different favorite as an adult?
Oh my god, yeah, no, I think I mean, Scary Godmother is like both top favorites, but I think, Harry's my favorite now. Bugaboo was definitely like my favorite as the kid
Yeah.
because like I like silly looking monsters like that. Like dude has 12 eyes and crazy horns and his entire face is his mouth and like I think the author sells a plush toy of him that you can buy. I want one. But like he's just such a silly looking monster, and it was just like I thought it was funny the scene of like when Hannah like finally sees an actual monster, she's running around and he's like, "No, wait, I'm sorry," and he's like chasing after her, trying to apologize. And Scary Polly's like, "Stop it! You're making it worse because you're actually chasing her." So
Mhm. Yeah.
that was just so funny.
Yeah, they're such a trippy duo.
Yeah.
Those two, like, put them on The Amazing Race, Bugaboo and Scary Godmother. Um, so near the end of the party, Hannah's like, "Oh, this is what my cousin Jimmy told me." And then Jimmy's name reminds Bugaboo that he's Jimmy, that he scares every other Thursday, and he doesn't like that Jimmy spread that rumor about Bugaboo to Hannah, saying that Bugaboo eats little girls. So they decide to prank Jimmy and his friends, and it has Hannah pretending to scare away the monsters with the flashlight, which was the opening scene, also like her trying to scare the monsters. So it callbacks.
Yep.
The kids take the monsters as real. They run out of the house, and then Hannah is like, "Bye, Scary Godmother." And Scary Godmother gives her a skeleton key to go back to the Frightside anytime. And that's the movie. Now, does Jimmy find this key? Is that why the Revenge of Jimmy happens? Because he finds the key and is like, "Oh, I'm going to use this," and then he ends up at the Frightside.
Not necessarily. There's kind of some like I don't want to give too much away, but it's kind of more at what's at stake of how Jimmy is it's like treating Halloween itself
Mhm.
and how it's changing him as a person. And it's very much Tinkerbell believing in fairies in existence kind of a scenario.
Interesting,
So
interesting. Yeah, no, I'm excited to check it out next year around Halloween time.
yeah.
I feel like we talked a lot about our Halloween topics on the last one. So, like, is there anything you've thought about Halloween since that last one that you were like, oh, I should have shared this on the podcast?
Let's see here. Not man, I wish I wrote things down because like maybe there were like a couple of things here, but
Yeah.
oh, actually, okay, so remember the podcast that I was previously part of that Aaron
Yes.
is okay, so there is going to be a new episode that is going to be
Ooh.
airing at the end of the month. I believe it's October 29th. It's going to be when it's going to air. I think it's just a
Oh
one-off
my God, you're wearing a
episode.
Halloween shirt with bats. I love it.
Oh yes, exactly. No, I had to be festive. That's why it's Spooky Goober Supreme now.
Yes.
Gotta get festive,
But
you know.
new episode on October 29th about.
And now, I think it's actually a couple of different things, but I do know that it talks about how she actually went to a haunted bed and breakfast that has actual like ghosts and spirits, and she recorded her time sleeping in the room to just kind of see if she can capture things. And I think she's going to be talking a bit about that, and also our mutual friend Jesse is going to be featured as a guest on there too. So
Fun, fun.
definitely tune in wherever you listen to podcasts as well. Sharing is scaring.
Yes. Now, in terms of the spooky, scary godmother,
Mm.
um, who would you like? Would you want to go to the Fright Side every Halloween and eat pizza with Harry?
Not even just Halloween, I'd go every Saturday. Like, this sounds like a fun time. Like, if it's like this all the time, they're like, and they're just living and existing. Like, I'd love a little slice of life Halloween Town moment where I just
Yeah,
get to get home from school, do my homework or don't do my homework, and then just, bye, mom, see
party.
you later. I'm going
Yeah,
out with someone, and then just go there. Just, yeah,
yeah.
like,
Orson got lucky that there was another kid at the party that he could be friends with because I feel like this is the kind of party that when you're a kid, it's all adults and you just kind of sit in the
yeah,
corner.
you get bored.
Yeah. So
Play with
at
the
least,
cat, or you hope there's a pet.
yeah. In terms of like, what do we meet new monsters in the next one,
I
or is
think
it the
not
same
that
cast?
what?
Is it the same cast?
It's the same cast, I want to say, because I'm not recalling anybody really new in it, because it's more of like them just kind of dealing with the situation.
Yeah,
So but it's still great stuff though.
I
Um
love it. Yeah.
it's still great
Um,
stuff.
Now, is it set on the same night? Is it the next year's Halloween? Is it
It's the next year's
okay?
Halloween.
So I
Yeah.
hope Bert has an equally unhinged costume for that one. Um,
Yeah.
and so you watched this on Cartoon Network, you said, or something
I
like?
I think it was Cartoon Network. It was either Cartoon Network or Nickelodeon. I know that it was put out by Sirius Entertainment that made both the
Okay,
book series and the animation for it. So I think it was through those channels that they kind of like alternated from. But I just remember whenever I was like October and they had like the for the Spooktober, blah blah blah, we got these special Halloween specials and stuff, and it was like in the mix of ones that weren't like um I don't know, like Drake and Josh Halloween, or like Halloween with SpongeBob or something like
Mhm.
that. So like,
Yeah.
kind of in that
It's
mix.
definitely it's definitely an interesting watch, and I'm surprised I missed it because I feel like I watch a lot of this stuff. But yeah, do you have anything else to add about Scary Godmother?
Let's say, if it's something that is up people's alleys, because like there was a couple of like Halloween-ish kind of spooky centric kids books that I read growing up. Like there was one called like Piggy Pie. I don't know if you ever heard
Mhm.
that one.
I don't think
That
I've
one
read it.
kind of terrifying. But kind of made me scared of pigs for a bit. But otherwise, like that's a really great series to like, if anybody's listening and has kids, that's like a great like foray into like getting into the Halloween spirit without like, I don't know, a lot of kids are growing up with like watching Saw and Smile and stuff nowadays, and
Yeah,
it's like, can
wild.
we like get the softer side of Halloween? So
Mhm.
like, it's a good introduction for that. So
Yeah, no, I remember the one with the pumpkin that lost his clothes along the way, or he picked up clothes. I don't remember the story, but do you remember
let's say
this book?
I think I might have missed that one, so I'll have to look into that one.
The pumpkin that like book the for kids. Let me see if I can remember it.
Yeah.
No, I want to clothes. I'm trying to remember. Which, like, does anyone know what I'm talking about? Oh, the little old lady who was not afraid to do anything. I feel like that's what it was. Um, yeah, it was like about a pumpkin who followed this lady as she went trick or treating or something.
Oh, that's so cute. I'll have to look into that because I missed that one. So
Here, I'm gonna send you a photo of this. But I
yeah,
feel
please
like this
do.
one was one that I recognized. I think this is the one by Linda Williams.
Okay.
Yeah. Jen, do you have anything else that you want to promote or plug or?
No, otherwise, just thank you so much for having me. I was happy to be here. I'm glad you got a kick out of watching this little peek into some of our childhood again, so you
Yeah,
can enjoy for yourself. Because again,
it
it
was
was really silly
wild.
and unhinged.
Yeah, no, I definitely wish we could give this film a better podcast than what I'm able to provide right now. Just y'all, you got to protect your mental health and your physical health sometimes, and I'm doing the best that I can. But Scary Godmother, it's a short little romp. Highly recommend it. Thank you for Jen for introducing it to me and joining me on the podcast. We're gonna probably keep this one a little tight today, but you can listen to more about Jen on Sharing is Scaring and also on her recent appearance on Scooby Doo Mecha Mutt Menace as part of Scooby Tuesdays. And with all that said, everyone, Jen, is there anywhere you want people to keep up with you or not really?
Yeah, if anybody wants to follow me, I'm at Generator20 on Instagram, and if anybody likes goth rock music, I'm social media manager for Vampire at Vampire Cult. So I'll be
Awesome.
posting.
Yes. And you can follow the Brazilian Dragon on all social and also me on all social with the Fleep. Until next time, everyone, we'll see you shortly for another Brazilian Dragontober event. And we'll head over to the Fright Zone now, or the Fright side. All
Away
right.
we
Bye.
go.
Woo!